Steven, I cried a lot.
So, Steven, as you know, I sat with my dad for 2.5 hours yesterday talking about life, and it was not easy, just from an emotional standpoint.
I listened to your Daily Fro this morning, actually, and yeah, you got quite emotional. Rightfully so.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often.
It doesn't, but I wish you would open up more.
What does that even mean?
The only time I see you cry is usually when your mom gets brought up for obvious reasons. But yeah, you got very emotional during that Daily Fro, and I'm sure during the talk with your dad.
You know, as an interviewer, but also the son, there's sometimes it wasn't the easiest thing to do. I mean, I talk about this fully on the July 29th Daily Fro. So if you if you want to listen to that, I go full into detail on what we talked about, why we talked about it. Just fair warning, if you are sentimental about your parents in any way, you're going to, I mean, I lost it reading the synopsis for Tuesdays with Maury.
Yeah.
Like, I've read that book and it's incredible, but it just, I'm very emotional at the moment, and it's not just that, it's other stuff, and it just gets to you.
I tend to tear up when you get emotional, just because it's so rare that you get emotional. That means it really, struck a chord.
Well, yeah, because people think I'm dead inside and an asshole, and
you just
all
hold
that
it together
stuff.
really well. That's a good thing and could be a bad thing.
I deflect very well,
for sure.
But I also noticed during the conversation I was having with myself on the Daily Fro yesterday.
With myself.
Well, it was, but I went from super emotional, and then I talked about my dad's mom, aka my grandmother, and instantly the walls built up and it all stopped. Like the stern stiffness just literally just hit, and I was like, holy shit.
It definitely happens in an instant with you. Like you flick a switch and you all of a sudden are back to normal, Jared, when you're getting a little emotional.
And then I was sitting here with Instagram and a reel for About Time, the movie. About Time, one of my all-time favorite movies, has Rachel McAdams in it, and I just love this movie so much. If you've never seen it, it's a beautiful soundtrack. It's just so good. I don't know if it's because it's a hopeless romantic thing. I don't know, because I really love that movie. Don't mistake it with In Time, which is the movie from Justin Timberlake, which is also a fantastic sci-fi movie. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Anyway, the reel hit me today. There was a scene in that movie. I'm not going to go over what the scene was because I'm not going to ruin anything, but it's just a scene with his dad, and it was just like the timing, and it's just all very emotional stuff. So I'll leave it at that. Go listen to the Daily Fro. We'll link it down below directly to the July 29th one. You can listen on iTunes, you can listen on Spotify or fronosphoto.com/podcast. You can do that. Okay, so we're going to talk about some behind-the-scenes commercial photo shoot that we saw on Instagram. We're going to talk about Sony reportedly making an offer to buy Tamron, me possibly shooting an FX5 this weekend, rumors of a Sony 100-400 coming as early as August 4th. The DJI Pocket 4 Pro is now officially announced in the United States. That's a whole freaking to-do to talk about. And then the DJI video that we put out, which is not really a DJI video, but a DJI video that we filmed in Toronto. Basically, we just use it, show you it, and you can decide whether you like quality or not. Welcome to RAWtalk 206. Let's start with this behind-the-scenes commercial that I saw on Instagram. It's a commercial shoot. Now, we're going to link it down below so that you can go watch it. No shade on the photographer. This isn't about that, but this is more of like a follow-up to the discussion I had with Adam Lerner like a week ago or 2 weeks ago at this point about an overblown commercial photo shoot and it going to AI. And so what I saw in this reel that someone shared with me is a commercial shoot that a brand came to the photographer and they wanted to paint a studio pink, and they wanted to make a pink tennis court with blue lines. And the guy talks about how they lit it and then shows some of the final images. And when you look at the final images, at least that they shared there on Instagram, you're like, well, why did you rent an entire studio to do this?
Nearly a full-scale tennis court, keep in mind, if you can visually think about that. It was quite wasted space, literally. But it does sound like it was more the client's decision to have a full-scale pink tennis court, I will say. He does mention that in the video. So I don't think that was necessarily the photographer's fault. But it was ironic that they took all of these giant, wide photos in this full-scale tennis court only to be cropped down to have none of the tennis court being shown in the final photos.
Yeah, and so the thing that they had to do, they had to rent a studio with a big ass cyc wall, high ceilings. I think I don't know. It's in Manitoba, I believe. I think it's Canada, and they have to paint the entire place pink. Right?
Yep.
So that's going to reflect back into the face, which is fine. The photographer knows what he's doing. The pictures are very good. And if the brand comes to you and wants to do it, that's great. But it's like you look at, he's breaking down the lighting and he's like, at the end of the day, we just bounced 6 lights off the ceiling and that gave us the best lighting we needed.
That goes to show that even on the biggest productions, it's not always about using loads of light, but just using a few lights in the right way. And yeah, it's literally just 6 lights bounced off the ceiling. This could have definitely been like a 1 or 2 man job for the most part.
But there's like 17 people standing around. So again, not saying that this is wrong. And if the guy's getting paid for it and the brand is totally for it, that's great. But when I look at the final images, they are highly touched up. This is exactly what commercial stuff retouchers do. They go in and they smooth out the skin of the arms and they touch up the face, and it looks so highly stylized that at that point I took one of the images off the guy's website. I screen grabbed it because you can't right click to download it, but I was like, I went in because my thinking is, could you have used modern technology to help you not replace the model and not replace the photographer, but either bring down the pricing or speed up the potential to do this by either going into a regular studio with a pink background, photographing the subject, especially if you know that the majority of the images don't have the tennis court in there. And then I just dropped the image into Gemini just to say, hey, turn this background from pink to purple. And in a matter of seconds, it did. Now, that's the potential of maybe they don't want to do that and they don't want to say, was AI used here? But I'm less inclined to say that I have an issue with, if you're taking the original plate image, people did this all the time. They would take a plate of the background, they would photograph the model, and then in retouching, place the model on the background for commercial.
I'm not advocating for using AI like Gemini in this, but I think you could easily do it the photography way by just making a plate, like you're saying, take a picture of a tennis court or something like that, and then in Photoshop, you're adding the model in the front. So for context, I don't know if you've mentioned this part already, but it's simply just a tennis player holding up the brand Wild. It's like a deodorant brand, and it's a close-up picture of them on this tennis court for the most part, right?
And that's what's in the advertisement is no tennis.
Yeah.
Just the subject.
So there's really no need to have this crazy tennis court setup. You could easily take more of a tight shot. Now, he did go on and say a lot of the wide photos are being used for their online advertising and stuff like that. The cropped ones are being used in the tube, which is what you see in the actual video. So it's not like they're all being cropped like crazy and not showing any of the tennis court, not showing any of the actual environment. But still, you could have gotten this done by shooting them on a blank white background, a green screen or something, and merging that in post for sure, and making this 50,000 photo shoot probably done with $10,000, $5,000,
or
less than that.
Or as a photographer, you could still charge the same price and make more money. It's
100%.
Again, not saying they did anything wrong, especially if the client comes to you and this is what they want. And they want the wide shot. They want to paint the tennis court and they want to use it as behind the scenes video and footage to promote. Totally cool. Like if that's the plan. But I did go onto their Instagram and it's like they have 600,000 followers and they posted the behind the scenes pictures and they have like 200 likes on them. So there's always that. But obviously we're not, likes don't determine whether something is a success. But in this case, I think likes determine that's what they were going for, right? Behind the scenes, showcasing it. The photos are good. The building of the scene is fine. But the way that I think about it is like, as an everyday photographer, is there a possibility that if a client comes to you and they don't have the same budget that this person might have, that you could get a pink backdrop, because you can get a pink seamless paper, light it, photograph it, go out and get, you could have literally gotten a tennis court net and pulled it across the back, and you could totally make it work. So again, not advocating replacing photographers with AI, just thinking of potential ways, because if you already did it with a plate in the past, it's not really much different than just asking the computer to put the plate in place of the background.
I do wonder how much trouble he had with that pink background, just because it is the entire studio for the most part, minus the white ceilings. I think it looked like white ceilings, which is what they were bouncing it off of. But I'm sure that light was bouncing around like crazy, adding a pink hue to their skin. So if anything, it might have made it harder to photograph them in the actual environment, in the pink full-scale tennis court.
Yeah, it has a pink hue to it.
But also the pink, by the way, for those wondering, that is the brand colors, pink and like blue, which is what they made the tennis court outline out of. So I do get the color palette of the entire photo shoot. But in the end, this is where I would be more on your side about bootstrapping the entire photo shoot. Single product, single model, not much needed. You don't need to have 10 plus assistants, which you could see in the behind the scenes video are half the time sitting around watching the photographer do his thing. Granted, I know a lot of it's the beforehand, the setting up, the pre-production, all of that. But still, I was telling you, like, this is a photo shoot that I think me and you could have easily done by ourselves.
We've done stuff in the past where it's like Steven goes and lights it, we shoot it, and it's like, yeah, that's great.
100%.
Doesn't need to be over the top. That's the moral of the story. Again, not ripping on the photographer.
Not at all.
Not ripping on the brand. Just pointing out that this is one of those things where this, like Dixie Dixon commented when I shared the story. I was like, how much? She's like $65,000 is what she thought as an estimate.
Interesting.
For that. That is a lot to spend. And as a photographer, it's like, if you're getting paid $65,000 and you take that home, awesome. If you're getting paid $65,000 and you're keeping $5 because you're spending $55 to build the other thing, I don't know that maths.
I also think Dixie does it the right way. Typically, she's always got her main lighting guy, her main assistant is always on the shoots with them. And it's usually a very small, tight-knit group that she's using. So I think she's doing it. She's bootstrapping as much as she can with these photo shoots. At least that's how it seems. Obviously,
she's just buying the whole property and then paying herself.
Yeah. But obviously, bigger budget means, bigger production, more people involved, all of that. This was more on the lower end. It doesn't really equal what you were talking about with Adam in terms of like that 250,000 giant.
You don't know that.
I'm just saying that was 100 different pieces of apparel, way more than just holding up a deodorant stick with one model. So
I'd be curious what the expenditures and what it was on this, and I don't think we'll get it.
I was thinking around 50 for this, but who knows? Could be much less, could be much more.
Yeah. So link is down below to check that out. Before we move on to the Sony stuff, September 19th boot camp here in Philly is Saturday, September 19th, the last one of the year in Philly because of the weather changes. So go to bit.ly/SEP19Fro. It's also linked down below. So we'd like to see you here in Philly. If you've been wanting to come to a boot camp, this will be the last one of 2026 in Philly. It is a good opportunity to come on probably a day that isn't going to be 9,000 degrees.
September's great around here, like I've said before. Yep.
So make a weekend out of it. Bring the family. Do whatever you want. Don't stay in Camden. That's my only thing. Someone stayed in Camden. I literally write in the PDF that people get after they make a purchase. If you are questioning, because I give recommendations on where to stay, and I said, if you aren't sure about a location, please email me first. Well, one of the people stayed in Camden, and she's like, yeah, on my way to the airport, the driver almost got carjacked.
Oh, geez.
And she was in the car. I was like, well, what happened? She's like, well, a guy came up, started screaming at the driver. The driver rolls his window and he's like, get out of the car. And she's like, the driver started to seem like he was going to. And she's like, drive the car.
Keep going.
Drive the car.
You are in a deadly weapon, essentially. Yes, the car. Use it.
If they don't have a weapon and they're telling you to get out of, just fucking drive. It's Camden. If it's a red light, no one cares. It's Camden.
Yep.
That's why we're updating the PDF to say, do not stay in Camden.
The wild, wild west for sure.
It is a shit show.
So our town is having the issue right now. I'm in Jersey, for those wondering. We are having the issue where a lot of cars are getting stolen around here, which I don't understand. It's people like literally leaving their keys in the car unlocked.
Hey, was one of them a Subaru Baja?
No, it was not Dan's car.
A gray Subaru Baja?
But they're taking them to Camden. So everyone is showing up in Camden.
So what you're saying is Camden is like a great place to go.
Camden is a lovely place to go, yes.
The worst worst place to go around anywhere.
Yeah.
Even worse than Kensington with the needles. I will go to Kensington before I go to Camden, by the way.
It's just crazy that, you go just a couple blocks down and it turns into a whole nother world in Philly or in Camden or anywhere around here. Yeah.
Just Google Kensington on YouTube and you'll think that we live in a hellhole, except that's like 5 minutes down the road or less. And you come down here and you got $1 million properties.
I mean, minus San Fran, I'd say it's close to like the drug capital of the world. It's always referenced.
Yeah. So whether it's a warranted rap or not, people just think that the whole city's like that. It's not. It's Zombieville over there.
It really is sad.
All right, moving on. Sony is reportedly making an offer or has made an offer to buy Tamron. What do you think about that, Steven?
So yeah, they're aiming to acquire all of Tamron's shares. Right now, I think they own like a 15% stake in Tamron, if I recall.
17.2496 plus
yes,
1.
17.24. Yes, the plus 1, yeah. But they're saying the acquisition price is expected to be around 200 billion yen, which is 1.2 billion US dollars. I find that to be pretty high. But I guess Tamron is worth much more than I thought.
Well, I have no context to know how much the lens company is worth. I don't know if $1 billion is a lot or $1 billion isn't a lot.
It sounds like a lot.
Well, it sounds like a lot to you, but no, I'm just kidding. No, it sounds like a lot, but you don't know, like, does that include other technologies that they have? Do they have other optics and glasses and just what else is Tamron involved in? So we don't know. We don't know that, but I don't know. It doesn't include buying all the manufacturing plants, all the buildings, all of the technologies, all of the patents, like everything.
My question is this just like another defensive weapon added to their arsenal to fight off like Sigma? Are they finally starting to get really scared towards someone like Sigma? At least their lower end contemporary line, which I think Sony, which I think Tamron is more facing, they're more against like Sigma's contemporary line than their high end art lenses or sports line.
Yeah, I mean, but also if Tamron does get bought by Sony, do they stop selling Nikon lenses or do they just continue on because it's more profit and they already do that with sensors in their sensor division? So
my questions for Tamron would be, first off, like, will the 15 frames per second limitation finally be lifted? How about the focusing while zooming? Will new lenses have XD linear motors and Sony coatings? I mean, that's obviously reserved more for their higher end GM lenses, but who knows? What happens to Tamron's new leap into like the pro market as well with their 12 to 20? Will that disappear? Was Sony starting to get scared because that was starting to encroach onto their GM lineup?
I mean, if they can own it, they can then profit larger from it. Now, did I talk about one of the guys who came to the boot camp who got a cease and desist from Sony for hacking his A1 II to allow for Tamron lenses or Sigma? I think it was Sigma lenses to clear the hurdle of 15 frames a second.
I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, so, we had a guy at the boot camp who volunteered this information, says he's an old school hacker and programmer.
Wow.
And he wrote a program. He found out how to unlock it to allow it to give him the full 30 frames or whatever it was a second with the A1 with a third-party lens.
So he dissected the firmware, found the code, and basically erased it or got around it.
He changed it.
Wow.
Yeah, and so he posted about it, I'm assuming on Reddit, and then he got a huge cease and desist letter from Sony.
I'm sure they don't want people copying it. Yeah.
You can't do that.
Man, just the fact that you might brick your A1 II is the scary part.
Well, he's a hacker. You know how old, and we're talking old school hacker. So the guy that was probably in the late 80s and 90s tooling around building programs and being an engineer and all that type of, not an engineer, a programmer, messes around with stuff, likes to recode stuff and write his own stuff or can go in and modify things. So he also was like, well, it already can do more than 15 frames a second. If you have pre-capture on, you're pre-capturing 15 frames and then you're getting 15 frames. He's like, so theoretically you can beat the limit with pre-capture with how many frames per second you can shoot.
But pre-capture is still limiting. It's still 15 frames per second, though. You're just getting 30, right?
Yeah, you're just getting, but yeah, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. But it was pretty interesting to hear him talk about that it's just a line of code that he changed and then he was free to do what he needed to do.
Wow. the other questions I have, would we see more primes? Because Tamron is mainly known for cheaper, more affordable budget zoom lenses. Also, like you mentioned earlier, I wonder if this will fully kill the licensing deal that Tamron has with Nikon. Will there be no more Z-mount Tamron lenses?
I think they'll keep selling them just to make money.
And Tamron specifically makes and manufactures lenses for Nikon in the Nikon name. So
just like the sensors, I think they would continue to do the same thing.
I think it would be stupid for Sony to kill something like that. And it's not like there's much competition with the lenses that they're making for Nikon.
Just means more profits.
Exactly, more profits in the end. But this would eventually leave Sigma as kind of the only major third-party lens manufacturer left if Sony officially owns Tamron. Yeah, there's what we call the fourth-party China brands, but they don't have much of a name for themselves just yet. And Sigma really is the sole third-party manufacturer that will be left.
That is true.
In the end, though, I do feel like this is more bad news for consumers because most likely Sony will drive up Tamron's very, very conservative pricing, but we'll see.
I don't know. I guess it all depends on the manufacturing costs. I mean, I don't think much will change. I think they'll just buy them and just keep making money.
And one last question too is will this kill that 12 to 20 line, like that future Pro line that we've said that is now coming from Tamron, because now they're starting to get close to Sony's GM line, but for half the price.
I don't know if they'll kill. I don't think they'll kill the brand, and I don't think they'll kill the.
No, I'm not saying the overall brand. I'm just saying that 12 to 20 2.8 is the first kind of step forward into that pro market, where Tamron's always been known for the conservative side, and now all of a sudden this acquisition is happening after that launch.
Is there a possibility that they, like you're saying, I guess phasing out and calling it Sony's lens instead? Right? Will they do a lower end line, but still slap Sony's brand onto it? But it's manufactured by Tamron, but they also bought all the manufacturing. Do they absorb the name? Do they remove the name? Do they just, what do they do?
Yeah, branding is huge. And also the overall look. Again, Tamron just redid their entire look for that new 12 to 20. Same with the branding and the packaging and all of that. Will that completely switch to now say Sony on it? Will this be the new G line, the lower end conservative line? I don't know. It's really interesting to see though, and it seems like this is actually happening.
We shall wait and see, because we don't know until we know.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, I got an FX5 in the mail, I think Monday.
Finally.
Yeah, it's still in the box. I haven't taken it out, and it's Thursday.
And you only have it for, 3 more days?
They need it back. It needs to ship no later than Monday. So Steven's going to come in and set up the FX5, and I think I'm going to go shoot a soccer match with it. Now, of course, it doesn't do stills, so my goal is not to do a review of it. My goal is to just go make something.
A showcase.
Yeah, just what it does.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go shoot it, and you're going to look at the footage. Now, Steven had the idea that I should probably shoot RAW.
For once, I think this might be the only time where I think RAW makes sense, just because it is such a light codec, especially their C1 and C2 modes, which are even more compressed RAW file formats compared to their XOC and Lite, which is more the flagship RAW file size file format in this camera. I think that's the best way to showcase this camera, instead of just, hey, let's just shoot 4K 24 and 60p a soccer match and call it a day. It's like, what's the point? Let's actually push this camera to its limit. Let's try to really showcase the power of this camera and shoot full RAW, because you do shoot RAW, and now you can finally shoot RAW in video. I think this is the one camera where it makes sense.
We'll see. I just have to figure out what lenses I'm going to take and tell the story of the event. Not all of the soccer, but what's going on behind the scenes. The feet walking in, the crowd
you
marching.
Love shooting feet.
It's just stuff.
Is there a fetish I'm not aware of?
Not at all. I couldn't care less about feet.
Same.
On women.
I don't get
like
it.
That is like whatever. I get it. Some people are like, oh, feet, and I'm like, oh, okay. I wasn't born with that gene.
Same.
I like butts, and I like boobies.
Same.
And I like cute people. I'm like, oh, she's cute. She's probably gay, but why am I attracted to the ones that are questionable?
What?
What is that?
No comment.
It's like half the time I'm like, ooh, I really think she's attractive and really cute. And then she's like, I like women. I was like, well, me too. We got
Subaru
something
drivers.
in common.
You're definitely attracted to that type.
What did you say? Uber drivers?
Subaru drivers.
Oh, Subaru. Because I saw that Uber video. There was someone sent me an Uber video, and it's this woman in the back, and the driver, like, she's like getting hit on in your 40s, and the driver, she recounted a story where she's sitting in the back, and the driver's like, "Oh, you look attractive. Can I get your number?" And she's like, "Sir, you're driving a Subaru, and I have a mullet."
Oh,
she's just like, yeah, if that's pretty bad gaydar in that case. But I'm generally attracted to those girls that you're like, I'm not sure which side of the spectrum they go to.
It could be either or. Let's find out.
Well, yeah, I'm totally cool with that. That's just what I'm attracted to. It's like people like feet. I don't get it.
Yeah, we're all wired differently for sure. Speaking of wiring, I'm curious if your FX5 has the 4K 240 mode, because that is scheduled for the future firmware update over a year from now. But, you know, people like Philip Bloom had it, and apparently other creators had it as well, but were told from Sony not to showcase or use that 240p mode.
Well, we weren't told anything.
We weren't told anything, so it's all fair game. And apparently Philip Bloom said that he filmed pretty much his entire review with 240p footage, and he can't really go backwards. And I guess Sony reviewed it and said, okay, you can actually put this out. That's fine. So that is why he was really the only creator to have 240p footage shown in his preview video. But if we have it, I would love to showcase it, because 4K 240 seems pretty awesome in this camera. It's a 1.3x crop, almost full frame, and apparently the quality is just as good as the standard 4K, which is unheard of. No line skipping, that kind of stuff.
And remember, I'll be shooting out at soccer. It's a 7:30 game, so it should be almost dark. I also need to make sure that we have the ND filters and that Austin didn't take them somewhere with himself. I don't know if he did.
Well, if it's a darker game, I think you might not even need them, but I'm not sure what you're shooting at, aperture-wise and all that.
70 to 200 2.8 is one I was thinking about taking.
And knowing you're probably wide open.
Yeah, and then maybe the 51.2.
And I assume you're probably going to be shooting at the third native base ISO, the high end, 12,800.
Don't assume anything, because you haven't told me what to do yet. You tell me.
I'll probably have a preset for you. I just hope you can use the camera, because, again, it is a very cinema-centric camera. I know the C80 is similar to that, but I also have you pretty much set up with preset buttons.
Yeah, once it's set, it's just, now I can focus on just shooting.
Composition is really all you need to worry about.
Yeah, compose and expose. Just let's go.
I just want to be able to just, I don't know, make something. Like, I don't want to do a full-on preview, because what's the point at this point? I don't think we're a cinema-centric channel as well. Clearly, our FX5 preview flopped. Like, people don't come to a photographer's channel to watch that kind of stuff, in my opinion. So I don't want to go nuts with this video. This video might not even be made, but I just want to see the power of this FX5.
It's not even about the technical stuff. It's like, if I go shoot something, I make an intro and say, I went and used the Sony FX5. Here's the results.
Yeah, I'd love to also discuss the findings and all of that, but I don't think we will. That's the thing.
Because I don't care. I think
know
you
you
just
don't,
look at it and you're like, this is great.
People looking into this camera do.
Yeah, I think people looking at this camera. Look, there's what is there to worry about? Buy the damn camera. You know it's going to be good. It's that simple.
Well, there's always quirks to the camera that people aren't aware of, and I think that is our job to tell them about those quirks.
Right, but the majority of the stuff we do, we just shoot and call it a day.
Yeah, I just hope I can set this camera up easily too, because I've never used the Cine Alta menu from Sony, and a lot of people said they wish they still had the Alpha menu in this camera. So
I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'm sure
you're pretty good at doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So another Sony story before we move on is the rumor of the 100 to 400 5.6 to f8 is potentially slated for August 4th.
Sounds like a Tamron lens.
Yes, true.
Is this the first Tamron made Sony lens?
Yeah, I mean, if it's August 4th, I haven't heard anything. I would hope it's not, because generally speaking, we should have a lens like this in our hands already to test out.
It is a very low-end version, though, I will say, and typically we get the GMs, the Gs. This isn't even the G version. This is the most low-end version lens that Sony offers.
Yeah, but what can I do with it to showcase what people can look forward to? Like I said, I gave my dad the 100 to 400 for the cheap one for Sony, for Canon, and it's like, this is good.
Yeah.
Now it's an f8. Is it the greatest thing? No. But for the person photographing their kids running around the field, it probably would have been the lens that I would have used when I started photography, because I had a 100 to 300 5.6. Was like a piece of shit Canon lens that I had when I had the Canon EOS Elan 2E, and I don't even know if it was a Canon. I don't know if Canon made a 100 to 300. Let me look it up. Canon 100 300 5.6.
They had a lot of those budget zoom lenses. I can't recall exactly what focal lengths they were at. But, while you're looking that up, this is the end all be all, like, first lens that I recommend to most people buying their first camera that just want to reach out and photograph their kids playing soccer, speaking of soccer, or something like that, some kind of recreational sports. But again, outside only for the most part, because you're dealing with that f8 at the long end.
I'm looking at the lens right now. Used $126. It's a push pull, and I don't remember if mine was a push pull or not. I just don't recall at this point.
It probably was. This is film?
Yeah, well, yeah. So it was 1993.
Yeah, most of the budget film ones were push pull.
It was 1994 when I got that camera.
I was 6.
That's all right. My mom took me to buy that camera. I went to New York Camera and Video in Southampton at the time.
So you were what, 13?
13. And
pro.
And I didn't know anything. So you buy what they sell you. Like I went in and they sold me a Canon EOS Elan 2E and a 100 to 300. And I was a Canon shooter because of that. And then when I hung out at Mid-City Camera, and Matt Chow, the guy who worked there, who went to Antonelli, was like integral in suggesting I go to Antonelli as a school because that's where he went. And look at how he turned out. He worked at Mid-City Camera. He also did commercial work and everything too. He was very good.
Yeah.
But not the easiest thing to break into. So he worked at a camera store. But then he's the one who sold me an N90S Nikon, because he shot Nikon, and that's how I ended up doing Nikon after I moved on from shooting Canon. So anyway, my mom took me there to buy the 1 to 3. We didn't know what we were doing. I spent a couple $100, $300 or $400 buying that shit. I don't know if that was my money. I don't know whose money that was. I remember my mom, when she had like a purse. She always had a purse, of course. She was a woman.
Yeah.
And she always had like her. It wasn't like a wallet, but the white envelopes you get cash from at the.
Oh yeah.
So this is like, she didn't have a Mac. We didn't do Mac cards. We never tapped Mac.
Really?
No, we never did.
That's a very Philly thing, tap Mac.
Yeah, but in the 90s, you either had a credit card or you carried cash.
Yeah.
And because you went to the bank and you got cash. So she always had this white envelope, that she got there, and it always had a couple bucks in it. And I just a memory that just popped up. Just one of those side notes. But anyway, she would pull the money out of that and blah, blah, blah. That's all I know. Anyway, sentimental stuff happening in general. So I think Sony needs more of these lower end lenses. The 100 to 400, 5.6 to 8 is the type of lens that a beginner picks up the first time, and then they learn, and then they realize I need something better, but they get started at the very least for not a lot of money. And while they learn and train, it will get better over time.
Yeah, like you said, you get started with this lens. This is a prime example of a starter lens for the most part if you want some reach and you're photographing outside with a lower end. Now, granted, on an APS-C camera, this is a pretty long focal length, but still a lot of people will be using a lens like this on cameras like that probably.
Is it me, or has Sony just lacked in the APS-C lineup?
They have. I mean, they put out the A6700 was their last one, which is that's their flagship.
Well, like Nikon has a Z52, a Z30.
And the Z52 is great. It's a mini Z5 II for the most part, but APS-C, it's just like the R7, how we talked about that last week, how that's pretty much a mini R5 II or R6 III.
Well, the Z52 is temporary out of stock. Well, let's see, with no lens, it shouldn't be out of stock. Yeah, no, with a kit, so it's $1,006 for a Z52. And Sony has nothing like that, with a viewfinder at least, right?
I mean, they had their lower end A6100, I think. Is that discontinued at this point now?
A6100?
Yeah, their A6100 is $850.
But that's super old.
The A6000 is super old.
Yeah, so isn't the 6100 part of the line that takes you up to the 6700 or 6800?
So the 6100 was released in late 2019. So it's about a 6-year-old camera at this point.
Oh.
So yeah, it's getting long in the tooth for sure, but that's how their 6000 series works in general. The low end 6100 starting at that point now is their like entry level APS-C, and then it goes up to, I think, the 6700 is the latest?
I don't know. It's been so long that I forgot that they even had that stuff, because the 6000 was like, super tiny budget camera.
That was the first one.
And it did a job. And I guess the 6100 does a job too. So this is the type of lens you throw on that.
Now, back to this lens, by the way, talking about cheapy photography items. This is not going to be that cheap. They're saying around $1,000 US, around 899 euro.
I think it will be $899 in the United States.
I would hope, because Canon's equivalent to this lens, the same thing, the 100 to 400 5.6 to f8, the one you're talking about your dad has, that is $750 right now. And I think that was even less, like $650 at launch. So significantly less.
Then maybe they'll do $699. Like,
I would hope.
You got to use these things, some of them, as a loss leader, Well,
the other thing, too, is that you have Sigma's 100 to 400 f5 to 6.3 contemporary with image stabilization OS for $1,000, and that's E-mount. So, you got some competition in that price range, and I'd much rather buy that, a 6.3 400 than a f8 400. Even though it's Sony versus Sigma. I don't think many people are shooting 30 frames per second or focusing while zooming with these cheapy lenses. But
not a bad idea.
But this is also why you buy Tamron for lenses like this. So I'm surprised Tamron doesn't have an equivalent lens like this, honestly. I think they have like a 50 to 300, if I recall.
A 50. I know they have the 25 to 200. That super tiny lens. Remember that?
Yeah, the 50 to 300 is $700. We actually reviewed that a while ago.
Did we really?
Yeah.
I forget all the things we've done, because we've done a lot.
Best budget zoom lens to photograph your kids. Tamron 50 to 300. That's what we called it.
How many views?
I'm looking right now. It just came out last year. Not many views at all. 36,000 on that one.
Jeez.
Oh, I think that's because didn't right after this they came out with like the 25 to 200 or 20 to 200, whatever it was.
Theirs is the 25, and I think Sigma's is the 20.
Yeah.
I really liked that 20 to 200 when I took it to the US Open. I did good with that.
You did. That was a great lens. That's great. That's the lens I would probably recommend people to buy now. Granted, it's almost $1,000, right?
I don't remember, Steven. I can't remember shit right now. My brain is mush. Too many tears and too many cryings. It's just too much.
Those tears are flooding your brain.
It sucks. It doesn't suck. It's good to feel something.
Yeah. It's called life.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm saying I don't feel a lot in the emotional world because I'm very closed off. And then a friend's like, I listened to your Daily Fro. You should probably go see someone and not just talk to yourself. I was like, see someone for what? So it sounds like I'm fucking complaining to them?
No, I actually think that the Daily Fro is your therapy. That's how I see it.
Yeah, but I don't get feedback from someone being like, maybe have you thought of this? How does that make you feel? But I don't think that works for me.
That's the thing is, like you said, you're a little standoffish and it's tough for people to give you advice and you're just like, nah, it's bullshit. Screw you.
It's true.
Moving
Sounds
on.
like bullshit.
You've been through therapists before and it hasn't worked out well. So I think you've moved on from
me?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. The one therapist guy tried to fuck me.
I remember.
Multiple times.
We've mentioned it many times.
Yeah. The other woman, I didn't like that she would look at the clock.
That's frustrating.
Like, why are you? Fuck you.
That would really piss me off. Yeah.
What are you doing? Like,
clearly
do you
you don't
not want to
value
be
my
here?
time at all. Yeah.
Like, come up with a different way. Like, literally put a fucking
or put the clock right behind where you sit.
Exactly. or come up with some thing that vibrates in your pocket, or that that I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't want you to look at the that just makes it feel like this is a job. See, that's the other thing. I know that there's therapists, they want to help, and that's the thing. It's still a business. They still have to make money, but they're looking at the clock. And the other guy, you know what he was looking at, Steven? My cock. My cock.
You're a poet and you didn't even know it.
Time.
Best poem ever. Look it up.
Time.
Frono's photo. Time.
So we'll have to see what happens if this is real or not. We don't have one in hand. I'd like to have one in hand because I'm going to a soccer match, which it would look really bad at because it would be a 5.6 to f8. So not exactly something to shoot at night.
Day game would be great. Yeah, not your night game coming up, but I don't. Even the night game though, don't they really blast the players with light?
They have new lighting there, thankfully. That's not as magenta as it was last year. They do finally have new that's more evenly spaced, but it's still not the greatest light since sliced bread.
Yeah.
But it is better than what it was. So that's a bonus. Shall we move on, Steven?
Let's do it.
Let's move on to the DJI Pocket 4, which is officially now announced in the United States.
The worst and most confusing product launch ever.
And that goes for both DJI and Insta360.
100%.
Because this was like a battle that they were fighting together to see who would blink first. And I don't even think blink first. Just who would release the product first.
They were playing chicken. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other problem is Insta360 can sell in the United States and DJI can't. So when they flew us or offered to fly us to Toronto, they actually gave an option to go to Mexico as well.
Anywhere but the U.S.
Yeah, so they weren't allowed to bring the product into the U.S. So I was already going to Toronto to shoot the Phillies when I got wind that they were doing an event. So we reached out to them and they offered to do a sponsored video but also give some stipend for travel. I said no to the sponsored video. No, I will not agree to the terms that they wanted. They wanted some terms. I'm not going to go into detail about the terms, but I was just like, absolutely not. Like, is it turning down money? Sure. But they offered to cover expenses. They put us up at a beautiful $800+ a night hotel.
Oh.
And they paid for the flights, which basically were super expensive because of gas prices going up.
Oh, yeah.
So it basically all the expenses went to travel, which is fine because I ended up taking Austin. And I'm really happy with his ability to work with me, for one, right?
Yes.
He's the navigator. So I'm like, Austin, get us to where we need to go. He checks his phone. He maps us. We walk. I don't have to think about it. I yell at him when we make a wrong turn. No, it's been great because it's so helpful to have a navigator and someone to keep me in check there, but also produce the shoot along with me. So he's filming. He's like, let's do this and let's do that. Steven's had to yell at him, though. Not yell at him. Steven's had to talk, though.
No,
when shooting with me, he needs to tell me stuff.
Yes. Sometimes you need to be pretty assertive with people like you. Well, you in particular. And sometimes I have to lay down the law and be like, no, we need to do this. We need to do that. You'll constantly say no, but I need to force you to do things sometimes. So I told Austin, I'm like, sometimes we just need to speak up and just say, hey, we need to do this. Just say Steven said so, and then Jared will do it.
Or it's just, but explain to me, like, this will make the glue much better.
When you get an explanation, then you give in. If we just say we need to do something, you typically say no if there's no explanation. And I hate that I have to explain it because I'm like, I know we need to do this. I don't feel like explaining it. Just do it.
Well, I do now. I'm better with that these days.
For me, you typically don't question anything I ask for the most part.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. You ended up seeing the result time and time again of what I've ended up doing from asking. But with Austin, obviously, we're still getting into that, having to ask you about things, and you don't really know yet what we can produce with him. So now I think you really know what we can do, and he just needs to be a little more assertive with you. Yeah.
So let me give you some behind the scenes of how this all worked up there. They had a bunch of creators. A lot of it was lower level TikTokers and Instagrammers that do reels, and they might have been their very first time going to a press event. Now, DJI hasn't run press events before, and they did fine-ish, but there's like certain things that were just awkward. Like when you get a press briefing, they usually tell you everything about a camera. Here, they only gave us 2 specs to work with and then handed us the camera and said, you have 2 days, go shoot.
And you could only shoot in Toronto. You could not shoot outside of that. Like they were going to give it to you to bring home, but you couldn't shoot any of the preview footage at home. You had to do it on location.
I don't know if that just pertained to people that were getting paid or not.
Oh, okay.
I could do whatever. I have the camera. Who are they? Like, who's going to say, no, you can't shoot this at home?
Gotcha.
Right?
I assumed you signed something saying that you couldn't, some kind of NDA saying you couldn't shoot anything at home.
I don't know.
From what I was told.
As we know, what are you going to do? Sue me? Like, seriously, what are you going to do? A contract is kind of meaningless today.
Yeah, I just can't believe they flew you guys all the way up there. Because I remember talking to you after, you and Austin, and being like, so what's the camera all about? Like, what does it include? What does it offer? And you guys are like, I don't know.
Well,
they told us two things. I'm like, what?
Let me also defend the employees with DJI.
Yeah, not their fault.
They can only do what they're allowed to do from their company. So it's not their fault.
Sure.
They were told to put on an event. They put on an event. Then they were told what they could show you and what they can't show you. And they're just doing their job from their company. That's fine. That doesn't mean that we have to like it or not ask questions. And I would have been very upset if I showed up to Toronto and they're like, go shoot, here's some suggestions. And they didn't have stuff planned out. Generally, Canon, Nikon, Sony plan things out. And I still complain because I don't like what they do usually. The best thing that I always tell everybody is, I want to be at home, send me the product, and we will schedule our own shit. So that was not the case here. But I didn't want to do... Like everybody already put out their videos while we're recording this, 8 a.m. We're at 10:41. We haven't put out our video yet because it's not like the whole world has already seen this camera because people from anywhere could have already bought the camera and reviewed it themselves and put it out.
You had forwarded me an email, I think a week or two ago from DJI saying that the embargo lifts today. And I questioned it because I'm like, I don't understand. Like, there's already reviews out there showing the camera and what it offers. Like, why are we under an NDA, but they aren't? So it's the specs have been out there forever at this point. I'm so confused at this entire product launch.
Right. And knowing this when we were there, that we didn't know the specs or anything, and they handed us the camera to go shoot, we didn't have ND filters to snap on the front. Thankfully, with the Insta360 Luna Ultra, they came with the accessories. But we haven't done a video with that thing yet. But I said to Austin, I said, here's the video. I'm shooting 4x5 at the Phillies game, Phillies versus the Blue Jays. That's what I'm going to do. I want you to use this camera to document me doing it. And it's going to be a vlog, and we're going to just show what the camera can do. We're going to wear the microphone that connects directly to the camera, and we're going to go to town. We're not going to talk about specs. We're not going to talk about anything that DJI has mentioned. We're going to let people enjoy the ride and know that it was shot with this thing, and you determine, is that good or bad? I watched it and I loved it. So I don't get to see early cuts. Steven knows that when Austin started working here, he sent me an early cut and I yelled at him.
And I think I told him, like, we need to hide all of that, all of the cuts moving forward from Jared until we have like a pretty much final cut.
Yes, then I'm happy.
Yeah.
I don't want to see unfinished products. Just show me the basically finished product, and I will then give you my feedback.
And this one was, I will say, pretty much close to finished from the beginning, from the original cut for the most part. We ended up adding a lot of text on the screen showcasing, what mode we are in the new DJI. What the hell is it called? The Pocket 4P? I don't even know what it's called at this point.
P4P.
But yeah, initially it was really just a vlog following you around shooting the 4x5 in Toronto. And really no showcase at all, in my opinion, of the DJI, because you barely even mentioned it throughout the entire video, which is fine. That's what you sought out to do, and that's what you ended up doing. But if we want to actually put the name in the title somewhere and call it somewhat of a preview, then I think we need to say what modes we're in and what we're showcasing here. And we ended up adding that later, like, hey, this is the wide-angle lens in D-Log 2. Hey, this is the 3x telephoto lens, 60mm in regular D-Log. This is the time-lapse mode. This is 120p, etc. So I think it's a little better to see which modes you're in. What I would have liked to see, personally, is as you were doing this whole 4x5 shoot, just kind of, talking along the way, like, hey, right now, Austin's shooting me in 4K 60. Let's see how it is. And then just continue doing what you're doing. And then it could be a mix of both not a product showcase, but at least showcasing the product better, and a mix of that vlog at the same time.
The problem is with that idea is that I was focused on getting pictures.
I know, but I'm talking about one-liners here and there.
Well, Austin didn't direct me, and I probably would have said no.
That's the thing. I think you definitely would have said no. So definitely not his fault.
I love it.
I love that he was actively like testing out the camera as he was filming you, which I know isn't easy, because I mentioned a few times to him, I'm like, why all of a sudden does it look like a smartphone? Well, like you switched to like an iPhone here. And he's like, oh, because I was in like telephoto 3X mode shooting something else and testing something. And then Jared real quick was shooting Don Mattingly. And I had to kind of switch real quick to start shooting him. And that's why the footage is all over the place in terms of quality. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Trust me. It's very hard to try and test out a camera and use all these different new features at the same time while trying to vlog and actively film Jared. So it's very tough. And I think he still did a great job pulling that off. But I love that he still got to use and try out the different modes, especially if we end up doing a comparison down the road versus the Luna, say, for example, and we can then showcase like footage from this. And he pretty much tested most of those modes out, and then footage from the Luna that we can shoot here at the studio, whatever it may be. But yeah, in the end, I love a best of both worlds video where we're showcasing the new product, saying what it offers, but also seeing you shoot in real time like a vlog and have it entertaining at the same time.
And we might do a comparison video here at the studio like we do with lenses.
That's what I was just saying, yeah.
Where it's, but yeah, on that studio set where we just stand them up and then we have what you were saying is the samples of what he did.
And that's what I love is that the sample footage is pretty much already done. So we should hopefully have most of that already in the can.
Well, we need to do something with the Luna Ultra as well.
And then Austin and I were also talking when I was looking at the original cut, and I was mentioning, the only thing I don't like is that this really is not a preview at all. It's a vlog, which is fine. Again, that's what you guys were going for, but it really says nothing about the DJI, so that's why we added the text, a few other things. Also, the color, he was using just like a standard LUT. We ended up getting the official DJI D-Log 2 LUT for this new 1-inch sensor. And I will say, since he added that, I think the colors look even better than the original cut. So I'm glad we ended up making that switch as well. But yeah, we toyed around with the idea of like, well, maybe we could film a comparison with the Luna for the embargo or film some kind of preview now that you have that, all the footage in the can, and say really what it offers. But at the same time, in my head, I'm like, well, I thought you said you couldn't show footage from America, so we couldn't really film test footage here. And there was all kinds of variables that
I don't even know. It's not like they're going to uphold any of that bullshit that they told us.
I know, but in the end, we're like, let's just save it. We'll figure it out at some point. But and then I'm like, is it even worth it? Because the camera's not even available here.
Well, you can't buy it here. And the majority, 50% of our people are here in the States, watch what's like 40-some%, and the rest are around the world. But it's just like... It's also, there's 800 videos that probably came out today at 8 a.m.
In the end, though, if there's going to be one video launch, one product launch that we don't have like a full-on detailed preview of, I'm totally okay with it being this product, just because, again, it's not available here. People can't even buy it. I know we're more global, being YouTube and all, but still, America is definitely like a majority of our audience.
I will say, like, watching the video, not just because it's me, but mostly because it's me. I liked
definitely because of you.
No, but I thought the quality was more than acceptable.
Oh, yeah. No, the quality's solid when he's using, again, the new 1-inch sensor.
Not the 3X
The
zoom.
3X literally looked like a smartphone. I had in my notes, because I basically will send over like edit notes to Austin, and then he'll make the adjustments. I put in there like, all of a sudden it changes to like smartphone. I don't get it. Like, what's going on here? Did you actually like pull out like a phone? Blah, blah, blah. I honestly question that because I'm like, why does it look so much different here?
Yeah, but the 1-inch sensor part is, I bet you it's going to look exactly like the Luna Pro, Luna Ultra. I think they're all going to be the same, but it's like it's not a replacement for him going around with an R5 Mark II or an R6 Mark III or an R6V.
Hey, I will say that if you're shooting with the main wide 20mm equivalent, like it doesn't look bad. I would not have questioned if you shot with a full frame versus this kind of camera. Now, obviously, if you're shooting low light.
I was going to finish my statement, Steven.
Sorry.
I agree totally that it's good if he can be up close. But if he has to be far away or further away, the 24-105 2.8 is going to be a much better way to get the behind the scenes footage. But anything up close, this is why you see like channel 6 or AB, it's different in every place, but ABC and NBC and CNN and who I'm sure Fox, all these companies are now sending people out there with just a Pocket 3 Pro or now a Pocket 4 Pro with a light, and they could either shoot themselves, or I saw one where someone was in China and they had a behind the scenes video of the camera guy holding the camera, doing a circle around the guy, using the gimbal, and that's how they're doing their news reports, because it's plenty good. You don't need a ENG camera, Steven. Is that what we came up with last week?
Yeah.
ENG camera?
Yeah, the old school broadcast shoulder cams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing more and more broadcasts on local news networks that include a lot of the like DJI mic pack or the Rode mic pack
Well,
or
that's
whatever.
terrible.
That stuff is. I'm just surprised they got away from trying to hide the microphone and now they're really showcasing it. Like,
It's COVID.
I hate how giant the blocks are with those new mics.
Yeah, and then Insta360 has theirs where you can put a logo on it.
Which even that, I'm like,
Just I don't want it to
I'd rather
blend
hide
in.
it personally, but
Yeah.
that's me.
So, I got nothing else today, Steven. I mean, I got a lot of shit to do, as usual. Boot camp, bit.ly/SEP, SEP, number 19, Fro. If you'd like to join us, we'd like to have you here. The tickets are available. If you didn't listen to the Daily Fro and you want to listen to the Daily Fro with me talking about my dad,
Get your tissues ready. Yep.
Not happy tissues. July 29th.
Not crunchy tissues.
July 29th, Daily Fro. If you're looking for it at fronosphoto.com/podcast or iTunes or other places where it's available, just look up the Daily Fro and look for the purple logo. It's pretty good. I'm enjoying doing the Daily Fro. And if you might have noticed, I started doing Insta stories each day now.
Which you never do for RAWtalk, by the way. Ever.
Oh, I should do that.
Yes. You never promote it at all.
Well, I do promote it.
Not really. By the way, I have seen people text in asking about, will the Daily Fro be on YouTube Music, which is their podcast platform for YouTube? I think the only way is to put it on YouTube, which then goes to YouTube Music. I don't know if there's another way to get it on YouTube Music.
Well, the only way I would be able to do that is I would start a second channel, a channel for that, because I don't want that showing up on the Fronos Photo channel. You know, it's so weird how they do shit, and they might change shit in the future, and it just there's questionable things that happen on the back end.
Now, the only workaround would be you could put it up, but you'd have to unlist it. And it wouldn't go live or public, but it would be unlisted, which then would translate to the YouTube Music app from there. But it would flood our dashboard on the back end.
Because I'd be doing it every day.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Not doing that.
It'd be a nightmare.
Yeah. So anything else you want to add before we get out of here and go do work?
That is it.
More work?
Oh, I'm officially 38 now, too. My birthday was
forgot.
the other day.
Happy birthday. Did you get anything?
I got a nice cake. Yes. And my wife bought us a little getaway package. So that'll be nice.
Oh, are you going to the Poconos and you're going to get one of those martini glass hot tubs and a bed that's shaped like a heart?
A heart-shaped hot tub?
Yeah.
No,
you know,
none
where
of that.
Used to be all the rage up there.
It'll just be a much-needed getaway weekend from the kids. So that'll be
Who's
nice.
watching the kids? Me?
I'm sure Grandmom and Grandpop will. Definitely not Jared Polin.
Why?
You want to change diapers?
No. No.
Okay.
Get out of here with that shit.
Well, you would have to if you watch them.
Well, I'd be good at anything. So, all right, guys. Thank you very much for listening to RAWtalk episode 206. Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com. See ya.
Bye.